Alright, welcome guys, back to another video update, Silverman running. So last time I left off, I was fixing to head up to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania for a wedding. Went up to the wedding and had a good time, had a very short time because I had to get back, and went up on a Saturday and was driving all day, did not run any. Went up on I woke up Sunday morning and I decided I'm not running. So I actually finished that week out with 20.5 miles. I went to the wedding. It was pretty much an all-day event. Left about 7:45, got home pretty close to 2 a.m. Got up the next day to go to work and built my shed. Woke up Tuesday, built my shed, and Tuesday I was exhausted, I think from the travels, getting home late, waking up early. Tuesday it really hit me hard. Got a good night's sleep on Tuesday night, woke up Wednesday, was refreshed, did my shed, I think I ran 5 miles that day. Thursday, did my shed, Friday, did my shed, and by Friday I was done for. Pretty much every shed I had last week was a big one, and I got ready to go to Uwharrie for a training run, and decided instead of camping that night and on the trailhead, I decided I'm just gonna wake up early and go. It's about an hour-and-a-half drive for me, so the run started at 7 a.m. I didn't get there till 7:30 a.m. so I started late. Started on the trail and I was feeling extremely fatigued from just a really strenuous work week. My stomach was upset and that didn't pan out too well. I was chafing a lot and decided on the Uwharrie is a figure 8 loop, and so you go 6 miles to get to Crossroads, and you go another, I want to say 5.7 miles to get to the top end, and it's another 3 miles back to Crossroads. Well, at Crossroads, since it was a training run, the race director and his wife, they were out there hosting a little aid, and so when I passed them at mile 6, I went about 2 miles out and my stomach started to turn on me for, I want to say, the 5th time. It was not good, so I decided to turn around because it was going to be another 5 or 6 miles till I got back to them versus turning around and getting back to them around mile 2. It would take 2 miles to backtrack. So that's exactly what I did, and went and left them, and it's about 6 miles back to the start finish. And what I decided to do was go an out and back on the first start the finish. When you go back to Crossroads, I did an out and back, maybe a mile and a half, came back. Same thing on the camp road, and then the same thing on the other trail that you come back in at. Anyways, I finished out 20.5 miles, which is a complete loop. I just didn't complete the loop, but it felt good to just be close to home, and that that trail is gnarly. It is gnarly every time, and we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am exactly 5 weeks away from race day, and this past week I did 33 miles total running miles, and then time on my feet I'm sitting at right now about 76 miles total for time on my feet. And that's running and just working, building sheds, walking around. So it's pretty decent. There was, every day, let's see, I ran on Wednesday. So on Monday, my mileage, time on my feet, was 7.5 miles. Just Tuesday was 8.5 miles. Wednesday was 12.5 miles. And on Wednesday I had ran 5. Thursday was 7.7 miles. Friday was 8.9 miles. And then of course Saturday I went out and did 20.5 out there on Uwharrie, but 23.7 for the day. And then Sunday I ran 6 miles or so and completed 8.1 miles total for the day. And so there is so when I went out to Uwharrie, I said to myself, this is not going to be an indicator of where I am at in regards to being ready for race day. Of course, when I get out there, sure enough, I'm thinking, oh, this is what it's going to be like on race day. I was not rested. I was not rested to get out there and go climb the mountains, do 3,800 or so elevation climbing and descending. I was tired, and of course my stomach was messing up. I was chafing, I was doing all that, but on top of all that, I was just tired, and my legs were telling me. And it made me, it really sobered me. That's a good word, sober. This trail deserves respect. And to go out there and do 62 miles on it, I did one, and I'm thinking to myself, can I do one more? And on Saturday, and I said to myself, no, there's no way. And of course, that thought plays into, oh man, I'm going to have to do not just one more, but I'm going to have to do 3 in total. 3 laps. 3 20.5 mile laps. How in the world? But, of course, I have to give it context. These sheds, man, every day. These sheds. And this is exactly why I am posting not just my intentional runs, but my unintentional time on my feet. The amount of miles that I'm clocking. When I pulled up to Uwharrie 7:30 in the morning, I wasn't the only one that was late. There's another guy in the parking lot, and he's actually from Georgia, and he's going to be running the 100-mile race in October. He came out to do 40 miles that day, so he's planning on doing 2 laps. I walked with him for maybe half a mile to a mile before he took off, and I didn't see him again for the rest of the day. But he told me he works with FedEx, and so he's in the same position, or at least a very similar position, where he's constantly moving all day long for his job. Blue collar. I mean, how do you train, put in training for a specific criteria when you're having to physically be active in these other things? I can only think to myself that this is going to be beneficial to help me on race day. So I need to basically strategize on leading up to the race on how to get adequate rest and prepare my body physically for the hills, for the constant rocks and roots and the constant ups and downs and the big climbs and the big descents. They describe this course as unrelenting, and that is a very accurate description. It is indeed unrelenting. But this coming week, last week I did 33.33 total miles. This week I am planning to get 40 miles. I wrote down on my little plan to do 5 miles, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, and then I'm going to go out to a local trail that has decent elevation climb and descending, and I'm planning to do 25 miles or so, and 10 miles on Wednesday, the next day. And of course, for the next 4 weeks, I'm going to be basically doing that. 25 miles on Saturday, then the next Saturday, I'm hoping to do 40 miles. That would equate to pretty much 2 laps, 2 of the 3 laps I'm going to do at Uwharrie. Then I plan to do 30 miles on a Saturday, and then 20 miles on a Saturday, and then the big day is 62 miles. So that's an update. That is an update. Uwharrie. Yeah, it'll sober you up real quick. Just one of them laps. Well, that's that, folks. Thank you for watching, and I'll keep you posted.